Now, when did you first realize there was a problem with the way most people thought?
When did I first realize it? Well, when I was sitting in that room, and I was at a seminar in 2003 or 2004. I think it was 2003. It might have been 2004. But I was sitting in that seminar, and I'd never read a book on success before I'd become very, very successful. I didn't know. I'd never read a book since leaving school, and so I didn't realise you could go to a book and learn how to get rich, or go to a book and learn how to become confident, or learn how to meet people, or anything. I didn't realise any of this existed because I didn't enjoy the sort of books I was given at school, and I thought I saw books as a bit of a waste of time. And then I was at this seminar, and this lady said to me, there's only 1% of people succeed and that sort of thing. And another lady, very good friend of mine, Nicola, she said, don't you read personal development books? No, didn't know there was a thing called personal development, didn't know anything about it. And she said, oh, you must read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and I was just sitting there, and it was like, wow, it's all written down here. This is fantastic. God, what, And then all of a sudden, I started thinking, people coming up to me, and this was melting my brain a bit because I'd never realised that people wrote this stuff down. And people kept coming up to me saying, Andy, can you teach us how to get rich? And I said, oh, there's no need. Here's this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Go and read that. It's right here somewhere. It's in my bookshelf. I said, go and read that. It's got the secrets of wealth in it. You'll be able to do it. Just go and read that. Apply the techniques he does, and he teaches, and you'll be able to do it. That was it. And then I read Think and Grow Rich, and sure enough, the formula was in there as well. And and then after a few months, people kept coming back to me. I go, how's it going? They go, I said, have you applied any of the stuff? No, that didn't really work for me. I went, what do you mean that didn't work for you? How can it not work for you? It's a formula. All you got to do is do that. And I suddenly realised that what they were teaching in that book would work for me, but wouldn't work for them. Yeah. So there was something going on with the way they thought. It would work for successful-minded people, but unsuccessfully minded people, as I'll use to describe, it just wouldn't work for them. And I couldn't. This messed me up, and that was really. The why can I succeed and why can't they really got me thinking. And the thing is, I like a problem. As I'm sure a lot of people do, but I like a problem I like to fix things that never been fixed before. I like to do something. I like to do something really, really clever, and that sort of thing. It's just it's my ego, I suppose, if you like. But I like to sit there and go, oh, okay, how do we fix this then? And when it all went wrong for me financially, and I got to see the world through the eyes of somebody who was had gone from succeeding everywhere to then everything he touches goes wrong, I sat there and thought, I need to, this is why people can't succeed, because they've got no structure to their thinking. So I didn't call it structure to their thinking then. I didn't realise that's what I was doing until I started writing the process and that sort of thing. But I actually sat there and thought they just don't know how to think. And I thought, well, then I suddenly realised, well, why don't they know how to think? And I thought, well, they've only ever been taught what to think. They've never been taught how to think. How did I know how to think? And how did I, because I haven't been taught how to think as well. So, and how does, Oprah Winfrey, and how does Richard Branson, and how does, Elon Musk, and how do all these people who've never been taught how to think, how do they think automatically, correctly? And how do most people think automatically wrongly? And this really wound me up. And I then suddenly realised that it was chance. The sequence of events, the meetings in our lives and that sort of thing. And my Uncle Dave took me as a 13-year-old, came in and went, and he went, right, you're going to be a millionaire. And so I went as a 13-year-old, wow, I'm going to be a millionaire. So he'd set me on the path to success at the right point, And what happens with most people is they don't get that. They don't get given the right moment to succeed. They're told, well, it's like my mum then said to me when I was 17 years old. I said, yeah, I'm going to be a millionaire, because my Uncle Dave said I was going to be a millionaire. And I went to work, and she wanted me to become a cabinet maker and get a trade behind me, because I was quite good with wood and that sort of thing. And so I went and did it. And she said she was bringing me back from work one day, and she said I was talking about being a millionaire and that sort of thing. And she said, well, you're never going to be a millionaire in that. You're never going to be a millionaire in that job, are you? Right? And that's like, now, personally, I took that to mean, you know, it was like nothing to me, because Uncle Dave, who was a millionaire, had told me that I was going to be one. My mum, who wasn't a millionaire, was telling me that the job I was currently doing wasn't going to make me a millionaire. So I looked at that, you know, looking back on it now, I just disposed of that. It was irrelevant. She was giving her opinion. She wasn't giving me counsel. My Uncle Dave was giving me counsel, because he was saying, look, I'm a millionaire. You've got all the skills you need to become a millionaire, so go and do it. Have a great life. My mum was saying, well, what you're doing now isn't going to get you there. It's like saying, you know, well, just because I've got no money in my bank account doesn't mean to say I'm not, that means to say I'm going to not become a millionaire. You know, it's like, you know, what you've done in the past is one thing. You know, you can change that at any moment in your life. Every moment comes along and you can change it again. And the problem is, people think they can only do what's gone on before. And of course, you know, they can't. They can exceed. They can dream. And the problem is, we're all, you know, people are always taught, oh, you mustn't dream. No, that's the most important thing. And you know, people don't know how to dare to dream and not be scared by their dreams, because most people will dream that. People dream something. You know, it's like I talk about, one of the things I manifested was, I'll just give a pure thought. Do we talk about the world's fastest car later, or, you know? No? I'll tell that story now then. One day I sat there and I was driving to work, and I used to drive really, really fast. And I sat there, I was driving to work, and very, very fast. I was a real idiot behind the wheel. And I sat there thinking, wow, what would it feel like to drive the world's fastest car? That's all I thought. And I used to think that, wow, what would it feel like to drive the world's fastest car? That was in 86. Yeah. 2003, I owned the world's fastest car. Yeah. And I was the only person in the world who owned the world's fastest car, because it was literally off the production line. It just set the speed record. I was the only person in the world who had one the day it set the speed record. Yeah. So all I'd done there, you know, what most people would do is, wouldn't it be great to drive the world's fastest car? Then they'd instantly say, but that'll never happen. So all I did was not shoot my dream in the foot. Whereas what most people do is instantly shoot their dream in the foot the second it comes up.
If someone wants to really up-level their standard of the quality of life, their vision of personal growth and achievement in terms of business success or family relationships or personal growth, I mean, it's phenomenal. It is transformative.
Since reading the books, I don't judge people. I don't worry about anything. I've got the techniques to, if anything comes into my mind, I think, well, that's not helping me. So I don't worry. I don't get stressed. I live in the now, and just a lot more peaceful. And I just feel that life's going the right way.
I have found out that things like stress, fear, anxiety, these things are illusions. And when situations come up in your life, if you can actually just refer back to at least learning those things that you've learned through the books, it makes your life much easier. It makes your life better, and it starts, in my case, to put me on a better path.
As everything really valuable in life, most things are really simple, and it's all about, finding the things that you love to do, and the financial benefit is a byproduct of that. Yeah.
Who he is being just speaks volumes. There's a wisdom, there's a knowledge, and there's a real generous sharing of the heart that comes across that makes all the difference in the world.
So his philosophy is different to other personal development books because he shows the practical way of personal development, or his concept.
And one useful thing I've done through reading the books is to actually stop watching TV like a robot, and it's freed up time for me to do things like read books, which I think will do me far more good than just sitting in front of the TV watching a whole string of programs that I never even remember or do me any good,
My mind had been shifted significantly. I understand more about a lot of things. My mind opened more, and I know for sure that by applying these techniques, I'm leaving my design.
I like the way he delivered it in simple language so that the lay person in it can understand.
There's a system in place that teaches, it shows us that if we, follow these steps and apply it with vigilance and commitment, it's possible to have a real powerful transformation.
Since I've read the books, my worries and fears have all gone. I am 100% happier, and I live my life to the full.
So it gives you a purpose and a sort of focus, and perhaps a start and end point, so you know exactly where you're going to. Because the hardest part of any journey is actually taking the first step.
So, yeah, I do know that it's going to change things radically on all fronts. Whatever you want can happen, actually.
Just do it. It's just to take you to that level. You'll know what you want, or if you don't know what you want, you'll know how to find out what you want. You'll know how to get the things that you want in your life, and you'll have great fun.
We can learn and understand things, but when we actually learn to know it and integrate it and apply it in what we're doing in our lives, anything is possible, and that is so exciting.